We just learned last Thursday night that the union has sex with men. Some of you who are listening in, some of you right now, you can go to your iPhones or computers if they're up, and you can see this report right now, a report actually on the report, on c-fam.org. That's c-fam.org. The UN Family Planning Agency, UNFPA, has published a stunning rights statement that is signaling the beginning and future path toward the acceptance of pedophilia. They do this subtly by just happening to include the age range of sexual experience with men who have sex with men to include boys by definition as young as 10 years of age, even though they never actually call it pedophilia. This agency also calls for the legalization of prostitution, by the way, the use of drugs to help men cope with the stigmatization of being gay, and advises, quote, safe ways to have sex. Look for this. Be a part of the movement to speak out against this. Reparative therapy, big R and T, reparative therapy, uses time-tested, sound psychodynamic and cognitive behavioral methods that work. But that's why we're here to tell you what the American public, what the APAs, and many other people simply don't know and are keeping from you. Authentic reparative therapy gets rid of any and all shame for having homosexual feelings, because that's what sets a person up for true and lasting change. When the grief work is done on all these shame-based things, the lack of affirmation, approval, and affection during the gender identity years, when it's first formed, when those issues are felt and dealt with automatically in time, homosexual feelings tend to at least lessen, if not dissipate entirely in some cases. There's a distinct loss of father and the 3 A's, which are affirmation, approval, and affection. Without affirmation, approval, another name for unconditional love, by the way, and affection, boys have problems moving along their journey into manhood. They develop a shamed male self. That if I'm coming from a psychodynamic approach, which means I search with the client, with his viewpoint, going according to his belief system, not mine, his belief system, his wants for therapy, what he wants to do, not forced by me or Robert at all, we find out together in a trusted, compassionate relationship how these things came to be. The sexual attraction has at least lessened or dissipated entirely. That tells us 2 things. There is no gay gene, and change is possible. I was one of those sexually abused little boys at 5 years of age. A lot of other issues that contributed to my feelings as well in puberty. However, I was a classic child of repression. I didn't contact a reparative therapist who knew what they were doing until many years later as an adult. Reparative therapy helped save my life. I don't know what I would have done or where I would have gone if I had not had a trusted and, yes, loving, compassionate therapist who understood exactly what I was going through. I don't have homosexual feelings anymore because I did the hard work. I took my faith in hand, and I realized what was going on, and I said yes to the work. The work is hard, but it does work. You need to go to voices-of-change.org. That's voices-of-change.org. There are over 100 stories of authentic therapeutic change on this website. I edited them, but it's minor grammatical editing and unnecessary parts. The beauty of these stories is you're going to have your heart ripped out. You're going to be stunned because of all the pain and anguish, and then comforted because every single one of these men and women experienced real and lasting change. And their stories are all written, every word, by themselves. We have to keep confidentiality, so their whole names aren't there, but the stories are there. This is what judges, gay activists, the APAs, even some churches just don't know.
If the parents and the child remain in therapy and follow our instructions, then there's success. If they don't and they're not committed, of course, then it's zero.
When children come in, and let's say they're gay identified, and their parents want us to fix them, you know what we tell them? That's unethical. We don't force anyone into change.